All right, cheers everyone. Welcome back to the show. This is just water. I'm going to be honest with you. At 2 p.m. on a Monday, a little bit of a bold, ambitious move when you've got meetings later in the day to start pulling from the bourbon bottle there. But I'd like to join you guys for a drink, and I like to think that you have a drink while you watch this show. So, cheers to you. Hey, subscribe to the channel while you're here. We will really, we're going to be consistent. We'll get you 3 new videos a week. So subscribe to the channel, drop us a comment, all that stuff, especially when we're new and in our infancy stage right now. It really, really helps. He appreciates it too. You know what I mean? Look at that stupid dog face when that neck gets scratched. So we've got that, and then 1911syndicate.com. If you need any real estate help, you can go there. We've got all the details up there. That'll be linked below. Now, the subject matter of today's video is very simply going to be related to home inspections. This is probably going to be a video that we're going to bring you on a regular-ish basis. And essentially what I wanted this to be was just a little bit of a case study. I'm going to do my best to bring you guys content that is like real-time relevant right here, right now, and it's based on things that are actually happening in our business at any given moment. So a little bit of backstory. We have a client. I don't think Zach cares if I say his name. He might even see this video. Zach, if you see this, you better comment, you son of a bitch. But Zach's client, and we found him a great place, right? But you never really know if it's a great place until inspection day. So this video on inspections and what should you ask for in terms of repairs or credits from a seller, it's going to be case-by-case basis. So we're just going to use Zach's house as an example. So Zach's house is in a great part of town, like definitely an awesome location. And we could tell when we went to see it the first time that it had been at least largely remodeled. The kitchen had not been redone. It had new appliances, fridge, all that kind of stuff. But countertops and cabinets, all that kind of stuff had not been redone. And then same thing with the bathrooms. The bathrooms were, I believe, original. The house is from 1991, just to give you a frame of reference on this. In 91, I'll just get, a little bit of inspection psychology, if you will. 91 is a really tricky year. Anything between 91 and roughly 2000. The reason I say that is because a lot of times, if you take 1991, so that's exactly 30 years ago. So the first thing that piques my spidey interest, spidey senses, everyone, that I'm going to want to know on inspection day is what's the story with the roof. The reason that I'm looking for that is, hey, look, that's exactly 30 years ago that the house was built. And most roofs are going to be about a 30-year shingle. Sometimes you'll see a 20. For the most part, I see 30. So if it was not disclosed in the MLS or in the seller's property conditions disclosures, we'll talk about that another time, but that is a document that, at least here in Utah, the sellers have to get to you. They have to make disclosures on anything they're aware of related to the property. I want to know from the inspector, hey, what's the status on the roof? Okay, because the house is 30 years old, 30-year shingle. Are they basically selling this house right when they got about a $10,000 bill coming due in the form of a new roof? Or has the roof been redone sometime in probably the last 5 to 10 years? So in the case of Zach's house, and if a house is roughly 20 years old, I had the same questions and a little bit of nervousness around water heater, furnace, AC, all the kind of big ticket items like that as well, in addition to the roof, obviously. So in this case, we knew showing up to inspection day that the roof had been done, I think it was 2014, so the roof's 6-7 years old, so the roof's good to go, right? We got 20 years left on the roof. No point of concern with the roof. That's great, because that's a big bullet dodged. The AC was brand new, the furnace was brand new, and then it turned out the water heater was, I think, about 4 years old. So I found all these, I like to know all this stuff as quickly as possible when we get to the inspection. What's the status on all these kind of things? So that's check, right? That's a lot of good news that we got right off the bat. So here's the kind of stuff that was showing up in the inspection. And the thing that I remind our clients of all the time is inspection day is always, with very few exceptions, kind of a train wreck. And it's going to kind of be the day that typically is going to be the make or break day, and the negotiation that would happen thereafter. So you show up to inspection day, and look, the inspector's job is to point out everything that he finds that could be problematic, even if it's not problematic right now, everything that is either problematic or potentially in the near-ish future problematic with your house. It's kind of like a doctor where you go see the doctor and he's like, you're healthy, and you're like, okay, cool, and he's gonna point out every single little thing. He's like, so you eat red meat 3 times a week? He's like, yeah, heart disease though, and you're like, yeah, but I'm healthy, doc. He's like, yeah, but over time, it could be not good. And it's just like, doc, stop fucking freaking me out, man. Like, you don't need to try to freak everyone out, but that's kind of what inspectors have a tendency to do, which is why we try to find really good ones who understand how to communicate with another human being who's already a little bit on edge. So the kind of stuff that we found in this house was like the siding had a dent on it where it looked like probably just a lawnmower ran into it. Okay. The little deck, it's not really a deck, but it's kind of like a little back patio that then has a few steps down. It's not even really big enough to get like a grill on it, right? So like a little miniature back patio that has a few steps down to a concrete landing. That was a little rickety. You could see where the wood was starting to get rotted out a little bit. So it was okay right now, but hey, in the next few years, yeah, you probably tear that down, redo it. Not a big expense though. The windows were original. One of the closet doors, like the latch was like super sticky and you had to like kind of really the door handle on the closet needed to be replaced. There was no air intake in the upstairs bedrooms. So this is all the kind of stuff that we're finding. The electrical box had like a double tap on one of the breakers or whatever. I'm not an electrician, guys, and you will be you'll be sad for my man card if I try to describe electrical boxes to you. But these are the kind of things that we found, and we get to the end of the inspection, and look, a good agent, the whole inspection is kind of playing it cool because we are looking for what's the problems? Like, what's the big stuff? What's the stuff that matters? Because I hate to break it to you, but the dent in that siding, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. I don't care. You're like, this window has a little draft. You're like, okay. Like, this tile has a crack in it. You're like, okay. Like, does the roof need to be redone? Like, is there mold all over the place? Like, is there giant safety problems? Like, what exactly are we looking at here that's significant? So we got to the end of Zach's inspection, and look, I told him very confidently, don't ask for anything. There's nothing to negotiate here. Like, they've redone so much stuff to go to them with little nitpicky stuff like, oh, this floorboard is loose or some stupid thing like that. It's almost like, really? Like, we did all this and this house is in this good a shape after 30 years and you're going to ask us for that stuff? Because, look, while I represent more buyers than sellers, regardless, I always look at things from the perspective of, well, what's fair? Like, I get it. I might represent you, Zach, the buyer, right? But, well, what's actually fair? Like, from everyone's perspective, because that's always the right answer. Anytime you try to get greedy and ask for stuff that you shouldn't be asking for, it's never going to sit great. Now, on a recent inspection on another client's house, there were some things that ultimately the sellers were not willing to budge on, but I did think that it was worth us going after. So a good agent will always give you a fair shake. Like, you should or should not ask for these things. But everyone, the point to the story is like, look, in this case study of Zach, there was nothing that needed to be negotiated. Like, you are in an inspection, you're looking for significant things. If it's like 10, 15, 20 different things, because by the way, most inspection reports are going to be about 40 pages. And I know that 40, right? And I know that that can sound like, how could that be? Trust me, they add up, and it's going to be a ton of little stuff, and most of it is stuff that, minus that inspection day when you're looking at it right here, right now, you're never going to think about it when you move in until it actually becomes a problem. So your goal is not to go in and nitpick this house to death and try to like nickel and dime the sellers. All that's going to do is create friction, and that's never good when everyone's a little like, the sellers are trying to buy it or they're trying to sell it, you're trying to buy it, like everyone's already a little on edge. Like, cool, calm heads, that's what gets deals done, okay? So if you go have your home inspection next week or whatever it is, and it's a bunch of little stuff like that, personally, especially if it's a seller's market, which right now it is basically universally everywhere across America. Do not nitpick this thing. Look for significant stuff, and even then be very cautious about what you ask for. In a case of Zach's house, there was nothing that needed to be negotiated. We move on, we order the appraisal, we go to the next phase of the process. Okay, so just food for thought. Stay cool, stay calm, don't get overly ambitious, because you will kill deals if you start getting too ballsy with the stuff that you're asking for. Ballsy, technical term in the real estate world, of course. So anyway, everyone, that's the food for thought for today. I'm going to bring you sort of more inspections, because I think that they're going to be good learning opportunities of like, hey, the next one or two that we do, we'll kind of go, okay, great. Let's look at what showed up in this house and what I recommended was the right course of action there. So thanks for watching, everyone. Again, reminders: subscribe to the channel, and what else? Yeah, if you need to buy or sell real estate, you can hit us up. Serious inquiries are recommended. The ones where you're just trying to kind of waste our time, even if you don't realize it, just think through those before you send those messages at like 11 p.m. All right, everyone, have a good rest of your week, whatever day this drops on. Have a good rest of your week. Pet your dogs, spayed and neutered, all that good stuff. We'll see you soon.